I've inherently kind of done this my whole life. I've known, no fear of loss, don't ever be the one that's too interested. Even if I'm super interested in the girl, whatever, I'm always going to make it seem like I'm not, even though I'm very interested or whatever. And I've kind of inherently knew this, but a couple, maybe 5-6 years ago, me and a partner who's no longer a partner, and it wasn't really a partnership, it was like a joint venture thing. But me and this partner at the time, we had this opportunity to get this SEO deal. Okay. And this SEO deal was for a transportation company that runs these big, long routes. And we did the research and we looked at what cities they wanted to rank. And we basically were like, hey, this is going to take, $3,000 to $4,000 a month. And $3,000 to $4,000 a month at the time for me was huge. It's still, that's a big deal. And imagine that was before the inflation, before the stimulus checks, before all the last couple of years. That was a lot of money, man. That would have solved half of my money problems. At the time, I was like $6-7 grand is my monthly nut. And that was a big deal. So we put the proposal together. We go and sit down with the guy and the guy starts wafting. And he does the whole bullshit. And the hard part was, as I knew the guy lived like 3 houses down from me. Okay. And so we do it. And I call my partner and we start discussing, because we actually went to his house and talked to him. And the guy was like, give me the card, like that kind of thing. It's really awkward when you know the person because you can't really push. And he taught me something. He said, here's what you're going to do, Nick. You have the relationship with that guy. You're more on the sales side. I'm just the one that's going to do all the grunt work. He said, you know what I want you to do? I want you to text him right now or call him, and I want you to take the deal off the table. I was like, what the hell are you talking about, bro? He said he'd call us back. He's like, I want you to take the deal off of the table. I want you to call him and tell him, hey, appreciate your time. But after, talking to you and going through this and re-looking at everything, we want to, and this is the term I used, I respectfully retract my offer. Okay. And I was super confused with why he would have me do that and what the purpose was and all those things. And he said to me, he's like, look, we have no control. We can't do anything. We are chasing him. We are going to be hitting him up. He is the one that's getting back to us, quote unquote. Right. And so we can't do anything. The only way we can regain control is by taking the deal off of the table, because we're going to lose it anyway. He's like, you know how sales is. And he's like, I'm not the sales guy, but you know how it is. So I did exactly what he said. And I called I think I actually texted him because I wanted to make sure it was really succinct and articulate. But I sent the text. I was like, hey man, blah, 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 blah. Me and my partner talked about it, and I'm going to respectfully retract the offer. Good luck. Let me know if you need a referral, right? Immediately, right? Keep in mind, we hadn't heard from him for hours after he was going to call us back. Immediately, I get a phone call from this guy. He's like, dude, shut the hell up. Like, quit playing games. And I immediately got the control back. And I was like, okay, that was genius. That was gangster. So guys, I'm not telling you to go do this in your relationship by any means. I'm not a marriage coach or a relationship coach, but when he or she who cares the least, or he or she who appears to care the least, or seems or appears to seem like they're the most willing to walk away, is the person that has control. And if you're out of control in a deal, you're not going to get the deal. And so if you're sitting there right now and you have a deal where someone's going to call you back, it's time for the pullback. If you're sitting there right now with a business owner who's not answering your calls, it's time for the pullback. If you're sitting there in a relationship and you have zero control, it's time to be willing to walk. Okay. The person, he or she who cares the least or appears to care the least, has the control. Okay. And this game is about doing deals. And if you want to get deals, you need to have control. Okay. That's it. That's the pullback. Edward, thank you for asking the question. The answer to your question in 30 minutes that should have taken 5 is get good and focus on the pullback. Because when you call these guys, everything could look good on paper. They might be running ads. They might be doing this, that, and the rest, and whatever. And everything checks, the boxes all check. But the only way you can know for sure is you need to do a pullback. You need to take the deal off the table or pretend to take the deal off the table and see how they react. But you have to be willing that if they, respond the opposite as you want them to, you have to be okay with that. Okay. You have to develop a no fear of loss mentality to succeed in this life. Okay. And especially in sales.